Okay, we're going to do part 2 on child abuse because there are some things left out. It's a subject that is very upsetting for me. It definitely puts me in a vendetta kind of mood, if you know what I'm saying. In the last video on child abuse, I really attacked the single moms who were so codependent that they would allow the man in their life to mistreat those children, whether they be his children or someone else's. That's ridiculous. Here's what's equally ridiculous. Are these dads, these men that call themselves fathers, that not only will they ignore the fact that their child's being abused by their wife or the dippy woman that happens to be in their life, to mistreat those children and talk ugly to them, emotionally scar them for life. Not only will they ignore it like it's not happening or condone it, but take part in it. You call yourself a man and you just believe everything she says because that's who you're sleeping with. You're so driven by sex and lust that you overlook your own flesh and blood. You turn your back on your own child. You forsake your own children. And you call yourself a man. For those of you who don't understand why it is I'm so upset about this topic, it's because I know what it looks like through the eyes of a child to be abused. To have somebody 5 times your size bearing down on you. And you can see the hatred and rage in their eyes. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's a horrible feeling. And knowing that mom or dad does nothing about it. Nothing. They believe what they're told. Or they take part in it. Do you know what that looks like through the eyes of a child? Any clue? I hate you, you little bastard! I wish your daddy would have never squirted you out. Come here, you little mother... Quit crying! Quit crying! I hate you! Who do you think your daddy's going to believe, me or you? You don't tell anybody, you understand? So you dads out there, you men, you so-called men that call yourselves fathers, if you have a broken home and half of your kids are with your ex, and you find out that her new low-life scumbag pederast boyfriend has been assaulting your daughter in the middle of the night, do something about it. Don't allow that goofy dippy whore that you're with now talk you out of it for the sake of the other children. Because she's so worried that her paycheck, her free ride will go away if you live up to the duties you have as a father to go crush that pederast that's been assaulting your child. There's your child in the dead of the night being fondled and sexually assaulted by a grown man, scared to death because mommy won't do anything about it, daddy's not there to save her, and you do nothing. And you call yourself a man? It is your duty as a father to take vengeance on that person. I'm not encouraging you to kill somebody. That's on you. But at the very least, you need to go beat the brakes off of that pederast who's living under the same roof as your child. That's what you do as a man. You might not have been there to save your child at that moment, but you best bring on that day of reckoning. Don't let that freeloading whore you call your wife or your girlfriend talk you out. Oh, we're going to need you around here. You can't do that. You're going to be in jail, and then what happens? You'll get out of jail. You may even get a sympathetic jury and not do any time. Whether you're behind bars or not, your child will know that that guy will never, ever in his life assault her again. Or your son for that matter. But you're so caught up in Miss Thang over here because you got to do for her, right? She matters more than your own kids. And you call yourself a man? For these so-called dads that are going to take part in it too? Just to shut his goofy, dippy, horrible wife up? They're going to forsake your own kids? I don't get it. I will never get that. I will never understand that. How anybody could turn their back on their own kids for a goofy, dippy whore. Why would you pick somebody that's not blood over your own children? Because you enjoy sleeping with them? Because you're so codependent as a man? You're so codependent on her being there? And her thinking for you and telling you what to think and telling you what to feel? That you're going to do nothing? You're going to assault your own kids to appease that bitch? And you call yourself a man? Real men protect their kids. Real men always love their kids unconditionally. This includes stepkids, folks. If you enter into a relationship with a man or a woman, you have got to have it in you to be able to love those children as your own. They're not just children for you people that don't get it. They're little people. They have feelings. They got one shot at life just like you do. They should not suffer through their childhood when they're small and weak and hopeless and helpless. You're the one that should bring stability to their lives. They should feel safe. They should have a sense of security. They should have a sense to know, hey, I matter. I'm important to somebody. They love me. I've got nothing to worry about. They've got my back. That's how they should feel. They should feel safe. They should feel loved. They should feel wanted. They should feel important. Not cast down. Not forsaken. Not walk away from that. Not walk away from their childhood feeling insecure about everything. Just a total negative attitude, full of rage, full of bitterness, full of hate. And they have no way to even understand how to even tackle life now. Because they spent the first part of their life living in fear. Because of douchebags like you. They got off on it. Had a sense of empowerment by picking on a child. Yeah, wool bullet for you, my hero. You can choke an 8-year-old. Yeah, you're a tough guy. Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations to your goofy ass wife. She hates a 10-year-old. Really? Yeah. I got news for you, folks. A little bit of discussion in the comment section about abuse versus discipline. If you strike a child in the course of discipline more than 3 swats, guess what? In my opinion, that is abuse. If you hit your child or your husband or wife's child 30 times and they got bruises from the small of their back to the back of their kneecaps, guess what? That is abuse. No matter how you slice it, you can deny it, live in denial. Oh, you don't know what he did. You just don't understand because you don't know what kind of little bastard he was. You don't know him the way I do. Oh, you don't know what he did. You just don't understand because you don't know what kind of little bastard he was. You don't know him the way I do. I don't care what your excuse is. Had you taken the time out and actually been an adult and been a real parent and taught the child instead of just beating him senseless for every little infraction, maybe the child will grow up and be productive. If you're an abusive parent, the only thing you've taught your children, other than how to hate and how to be ugly and how never to trust anyone, the only thing positive you've even taught them is how not to be as a parent. Like I said in the first video, I would love to crush every child abuser on the planet. Just so they can know what it feels like. Because for you parents that beat your kids senseless, if that child grows up and never forgets what you did to them, and they repay you, and they come back to your house one day, if they did exactly to you what you did to them, they would consider that aggravated battery. What makes it any different when you're doing it to them? And that's something you need to think about. While you're being aggressive with those children that can't defend themselves, one day they will be grown. One day they will be able to take you out. Then there will be a day of reckoning. Then it will be you that has fear in your eyes. You that begs please. You that has tears rolling down your face. You that's covered in bruises. You that's leaking blood from your face. nobody tries to save you. Think about that. I will post some links below. For anybody who's being abused, you need to click on these links, find those hotline numbers, get a hold of somebody, get some help.